Great. So welcome everyone. And I'm going to go to speaker view right away. And Darren, I'm going to bring you in as well, you and I, so that I'll introduce you as well. So, okay. And me. Right. Amazing. Yay. So let's rock and roll together, my friends. Okay. This is our monthly HeartPowered Speaking Community session together. And I see a lot of you that have been with us quite a few times, and I see quite a few first-timers. Yay, always welcome to the first-timers also especially. And it is our very first session in 2024. So welcome to our first monthly HeartPowered Business, HeartPowered Speaking Community call. And some of you might wonder, who is actually this Monique? Because maybe you got the invite through LinkedIn or one of our other channels. I'm the founder of HeartPowered Business, and my mantra is speak up, scale up, impact the world. And over the years, we've helped really hundreds of clients from more than 50 countries really go professional with their speaking and to double, triple, even quadruple their income with our Voice to Millions framework. I myself have been a paid speaker for more than 20 years, and I've been on stages in more than 30 countries all over the world. And I know that all of you are here because you have a powerful message and a powerful voice you want to share and spread in a greater way, right? And if you really want to use speaking to grow your business, right, I wonder if you already have a solid agenda for 2024, okay, for your speaking. A lot of people always plan out their business and plan out their life, right? But not a lot of people have a solid roadmap around their speaking. So what we'll do in a few minutes, we'll also share with you a link, because with the session today, we have Darren, and on the 25th of January, and I already shared that with you right now, we have another session where we really get you to roll up your sleeves for 2 hours to craft your speaking roadmap for 2024 so that you amplify your voice, you multiply your income and impact as well. But this session is all about our amazing guests. It's not about me, it's all about you and about our amazing guests that will inspire you today, give you concrete, practical hints and tips that you can apply right away. You can ask your own personal questions on how you make your speaking and business flourish further. And you can exchange with other professional speakers. All of you are here on the call right now. Also, if you have any high important projects right now that you want everyone to know, at the end of our call, we give you space and time to share those as well. And depending on where you are around the globe, you know, a lot of you just come here and, you know, get inspiration and want to take a break with us. We always make these sessions very interactive, so really ask your questions anytime, at least put them into the chat. We make sure we have enough time at the end of the session to answer them all. Also mute yourself when you're not speaking, and then we have a sparkling recording. And also keep in mind, we're all here together on video, and I know you're speakers, right? Can I see a show of hands? How many of you love to also shine your light in the greatest way, right? So when you speak, we love to have you on video. Okay, right now even join us, be on the video with us, okay? So that, you know, you get heard and seen around the world as well, right? And let me introduce Darren, okay? Darren and I don't even know Darren, it's 15 years ago or something we met, right? In the Toastmasters world, right? Or even longer ago. And Darren has always impressed me. I mean, you know, I've interviewed you, I don't know how many times we met at, I don't know how many meetings, right? Over the years, and every single time I take massive value away from our conversations, right? And if you all, right, want to deliver a great presentation, I think you do. Can I see a show of hands? How many of you, right? You want to deliver greater presentations, right? Or not only just a great one, but an unforgettable one, right? Well, the process is different for each. If you truly want to stand out and get your message to become unforgettable, it would make a lot of sense to learn from a coach who knows how to do it. Trying to be unforgettable without advice from an expert is like really living and you know, living to assemble a new desk from IKEA without the directions and wondering why you have left 2 or 3 screws, washers, or a bracket, right? So you cannot put it together if you don't get guidance and you don't have a step-by-step instruction. But in 2001, our guest today, Darren LaCroix, was really tired of being average on the platform. He entered the speech contest against 25,000 contestants from 14 countries to take his skills to a new level. His coach, at the time world champion Mark Brown, showed him that he had not known what he had not known after being a presenter for 7 years. Mark's insights were essential to being unforgettable against some of the best speakers in the world. People still talk about Darren's winning speech now, more than two decades later, right? So Darren is amazing, and I know, Darren, you're going to shower us with insights today on how to make a speech forgettable. You said you would share with us and, you know, inspire people no matter where they are, if they're starting out or if they're already further down. And all of you that are here today, you don't only want to create impressive, unforgettable speeches. I know you also want to bring your speaking business to a new level in 2024. So all of us, let's give Darren an amazing welcome today. Darren, over to you. Oh.
My bad. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being all in. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for caring about your business. And my belief is that your presentation is your product. A lot of us want to build a business, but without a good product, you're going to work really hard. And when I joined NSA, the National Speakers Association in the United States, back in the 90s, I learned this great statistic that has driven me and reminds me all the time how important this is, that 80% of your paid presentations come as a result of someone who's seen you present. Now, they may or may not have been the hiring person. However, they are the reason you get recommended. The fact that you're good, they're going to tell their friends about you. They're going to put things on social media. So make no mistake, your presentation is your product. And wherever your product is right now, that's fine. But my suggestion is resolve to evolve. Resolve to evolve. Now, Monique, I'll go in whatever direction you want. I'm wide open. I got coaching forums. I'm ready to pounce whatever direction you want to go.
Okay, great. So I think, again, why don't you start out? Okay, I think one of the things that you said in our last interview, which really impressed me, is a lot of people think that, you know, once you are an established speaker, right? Speaking opportunities come to you all the time, and you do not need to do anything anymore to secure them, okay? So I think that this is a wrong belief, as you know, right? And I remember, Darren, that you said, you showed me a couple of really cool prompts and toys, right? You play with, like this button, for example. You said that even though you've been in the world of speaking, you built a really thriving, you know, very profitable, very visible speaking business, okay? You are omnipresent. Everyone in the world of speaking that has been there for a while knows you. And still, you told me you do one thing, you keep reaching out on a regular basis. So why don't you tell everyone here why that is so important to stay on top of the game, to keep staying active, to keep reaching out, so that you bring you and yourself and your speaking business again and again to a different level. So that is one question I'd like to ask you, because that was something that really impressed me.
Yeah, there's always new people who just got a new job and all of a sudden they have to start delivering presentations. There's always new people coming into the world, and whatever your world is, there's new people who need your help, need your guidance. They need your process that a week ago they didn't. So if you and I are not constantly being out there, not constantly re-engaging with the people who already know us, those warm leads, even people who know us, we need to consistently be getting in front of them to remind them. It's our job to be top of mind as the go-to expert in our industry. Whatever your topic is, whatever your product is, you've got to brand yourself as the go-to person. The world does not need another expert. The world needs an expert in your category that's all in. That's what we need. That's what the world needs. That's the best marketing. I have right in front of me here, I'll even flip this camera around to see it, a little quote there. You can't read it, kind of far away. However, I'll read it to you, and it's a constant reminder. It's one of my friends who is a multi-millionaire, sold his business for $33 million. And I had him come to one of our events, and he said this, and I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Here's a guy who's multimillionaire, built his business from nothing. And he said, and I'll quote, "Any day I don't reach outside of my four walls is a day that my business doesn't grow." Any day that I don't reach outside of my four walls is a day that my business doesn't grow. So Monique, one of the things we did at our last conference, I live in Las Vegas. These are poker chips. So on my desk, I have a stack of 10 poker chips that reminds me each day I've got to move them. I've got to stack them. I got to move them from one place to another. And I only do that when I reach out. So you can do it with coins, whatever it is, but what's your reminder that you need to reach out? This is my reminder. It sits right in front of me every day. Now, there's some days that I don't do anything like that because I'm busy doing other things, but every day that I don't reach outside of my four walls is a day that my business doesn't grow. That is the foundation. Whether we like marketing or not, don't look at it as marketing. I had to reframe the sales calls that I made into top of mind calls, or better yet, rapport calls. Every time you reach out to someone, whether they buy or not, you have this opportunity to create rapport. Now might not be the time. They might have other things going on. However, you call them, you email them directly, not a list. Hey, lists are good and I'm a big fan of it. And we need to do individual reach outs. We need to comment on other people's posts on LinkedIn. That's how you get top of mind. We read the people who comment. We see them. If I see your name coming up again and again, I'm going to stop being curious and I'm going to go to your profile. But sometimes if you just try to direct sell me, ain't going to happen. My old days when I was a wannabe speaker, I worked at Bose Corporation, the stereo speaker company. And there was a guy who was a friend of mine. His name was John. He looked like the old guy, if you remember the movie Jaws, the old seaworthy fisherman. And he was ornery, just like that. And I asked him, he worked half the hours that everybody else did in my department and sold twice as much as everybody else did in my department. I said, John, what's your secret? He says, my goal is to make them laugh. I don't try to sell. And the same days I don't make people laugh are the same days I don't sell much either. He's going for the connection. It is the sincere, authentic connection. For you and I, when we present, I'm gonna challenge you here. How do you set yourself up? How do you set up the listening? Because that is crucial. That's your trajectory. How can we must connect before we can educate, entertain, or inspire. We must connect before we can educate, entertain, or inspire. So this is an interview with Monique, but when I do the stage, whether it's live or virtual, I have a video introduction that elicits emotion. So write this down. If you're taking notes, make it your new goal. If you want to be unforgettable on stage, you need to make your goal in your marketing and on stage, elicit emotion. Elicit emotion. That's how you stand out. So when you're creating a story, your story is, it's okay. Well, it's not done until it elicits emotion. Now, it doesn't have to be some Mount Everest story, but our stories, our introduction, our marketing. I use a tool called BombBomb, where it's video that I send out to people, and I hold up, it's in the other room, but I hold up a whiteboard with their name on it. That gets their attention. That gets them to open up and listen. I may only have 60 seconds to grab their attention, but what can you do to create the connection before you present and create the connection while you're marketing? Elicit emotion. The best advice I got since 2001, my new goal. I'll be honest, when I first heard it, I heard these two people come up to me, and I was in my contest speech working on the world championship. And these two ladies came up to me who had been speakers much longer than me. They crossed their arms. They said, "You're never going to win. We didn't feel anything." And my first thought was, what? You didn't feel anything? This is a speech. What are you talking about? Now I get it. They didn't know how to help me, but they did hold up a mirror. If you and I are truly, and here's the cool thing, if you can help someone solve a problem, you'll be unforgettable. It will elicit, if you help me, I don't care if you're new or emerging, if you sincerely help me overcome a problem or a challenge, I'll never forget you. Monique?
I love it. I love it. Okay, that's already a shower of golden nuggets. So, and Darren, everyone here, has seen the agenda for our call today. So we said that we also wanted to speak about how do you really ignite your speaking journey, no matter where you are with your speaking right now? What can you do, especially in the current times, 2024, to bring your speaking journey again to a different level?
I'm a big fan of what I call, if you're taking notes, before rapport. Before rapport. How can you create rapport with your audience before you even get there? So when I book a speech or presentation or a training, I want to reach out to people beforehand, connect with anybody who's going to be the audience on LinkedIn. Just say hello, a sincere hello. Don't try and sell them something. But then I ask the event planner for a list of 10 names and permission, have them open the door, permission to reach out and talk to them ahead of time. So now I have my strategy. I have my speech, my presentation laid out. But what I do is I pull out, I'm going to just show this. This is one of the models that I use called the Fripp speech model. And this is how I plug my presentation in. So I have the model. I know my speech. I know my presentation. But what I'll do is I will listen to their stories, and I will take out one of my examples and put in one of their stories right here. And I'll put another one in right here. So now I know my presentation, but because I customized and I pulled in a couple stories that are going to resonate more with that audience because it's from their world. We need to do that and take the time to do this. And I did this early on in my career because I didn't have any content, to be quite honest. I was still working that out. Now I have great content, but I see the value of making it about them. Now it looks like you wrote the whole presentation just for them. You didn't, but I'm using specific stories that reinforce my points from their world. Now, I'll just full transparency. And by the way, you can ask anything. I've got no secrets. My only secret is just ask, and I will tell you. When I reach out to 10 people, I only get back phone calls from like 6 of them. And then I'll end up only talking to 4 of them. But those 4 are gold. So not just the event planner. I want to, if I'm talking to frontline audience, frontline workers, I want to know their opinion. I don't want to know what the leaders think their opinion should be. Huge difference. So I want to speak to people at every level. When I get to the event, if I can, this is just my philosophy, I'll go a day early and I'll just hang out and listen. And here's what I'm looking for. Pet peeves, frustrations from their world. I learned this from stand-up, which is my background. Pet peeves and frustrations is the greatest, fastest, most emotional way to connect to an audience because that's what's top of mind, what frustrates them. So how can I tie that in to setting up my message? But I'll listen. This is one of the things I teach in my humor boot camp. It's called the registration desk principle. When you're at a convention or a conference, where do people complain? At the registration desk. So when no one's around or the line's short, I pull the person who's working the registration desk aside and I ask them, I say, so what are people complaining about? Is it the food? Is it too cold? Is it, there was one of them, when I asked that question, was in San Antonio, Texas. They said, no one can find Hacienda G. So this was a breakout room. All the breakout rooms were in one area, but this one happened to be in another part of the hotel. When I got up on stage, I had my brief opening and I said, by the way, Anyone looking for Hacienda G? And the audience burst out laughing. It was great. Like, I didn't even say anything, but I tapped into top of mind, their frustration. And then I said, just, go through the kitchen, out to Crockett Avenue, go down Crockett Avenue, past the Alamo, and they're laughing at everything I say because it's their world. Make no mistake, it's our job to connect our content to their world. It's our job to connect our content to their world. Now, we have to constantly be making our content better, making our stories stickier. One of the ways that I teach that is a foundational phrase. So do you have a foundational phrase? What that is, the way I define that is 10 words or fewer, and it has rhythm to it. It doesn't have to rhyme, but it has to have rhythm to it. Why? That's part of what makes it memorable. So when you create, what is your message? What's that clear, specific message? Now I take that message and I turn it into a foundational phrase. So to give you a few examples, one of mine is stage time, stage time, stage time. My mentors taught me any day that you don't get on stage is a day that you don't grow. What? But don't I have to be good? They said, no, you have to grow. You have to get up there to get good. Stage time, stage. So I say it over and over again. When people leave, if you ask Toastmasters or NSA members or PSA members around the world, they would say, what's Darren's message? Stage time, stage time, stage time. It's clear. It's strong. If you can't plant that seed, look, it doesn't matter what happens in the moment when you're presenting. It matters the seeds you plant that germinate out there in the real world. And Monica, you had asked to make this interactive, which I love that. Put in the chat, what do you think is the most important part of a presentation? So I'm going to invite you, if your screen's on, I'm going to invite you to weigh in on this. What is the most important part of a presentation? The value for your audience, call to action, connection, opening. Thank you, John. The opening lines, opening and closing. Thank you all for preparation. How much is remembered? Okay, connecting. So all of those are important. But are you curious? My answer. Give me a yes or no or a meh. Yes, yes. All right, so see what I'm doing here. I'm making you curious before I give you the answer. Write that down. Thank you for that laugh, Bill. I appreciate that. Write that down. Do you make them curious? Because as experts, we can give answers all day long, but unless we plant the seeds and get them engaged into wanting to know what we're going to say, as opposed to just saying it. If I just told you the answer, you'd be like, yeah, next. Well, here it is, in my opinion. Now, those are all important. However, the most important part of a presentation is the thought process in the listener's mind. The thought process in the listener's mind. See, if we go back, I won't name names, but if we go back and look at what you say, elicit emotion, that's good. Connecting, the opening. Okay, it's not your opening, it's what I think of your opening. It's not your message, it's what I think of your message. It's not your call to action, it's what I think of your call to action. Because if I know, even though I don't want to, your call to action is going to make me uncomfortable, but it's going to make me better at the same time, then I'll do it. See, it's what I think about it. It's not your audience, it's what we think. And that's one of the reasons I honestly believe that people need coaching. People need that help in presentations. If you want to be unforgettable, if you want to reach your full potential, you need to find a coach. Yeah, I do it, but I don't care who you find. Find that person that you will trust, that is going to tell you the truth in love and help you connect more deeply with your audience. Because that's a problem. We're so close to our own content that we don't know what they're thinking about our own content. So we have to figure that out through feedback, through good questions that we ask our audience, as well as a good coach who is going to tell you what they're thinking. Monica, I could just keep rolling, but I want to know where you want to go.
I love to hear you rolling. But you're giving us so many glimpses into and points that we can pick up on. So I'd like to pick up on one thing, also because it's something that we promised everyone that's here today that we would talk about it. You spoke about connect your content to their world. I love that. It's such a profound message. Okay. And one way of connecting our content to their world is by using stories as bridges between our world and their world, right? So I know that you are a master storyteller in many ways, right? And why don't you tell everyone here, how do you really craft stories that resonate with people deeply and get them to take action? Because yes, we want to inspire our audience, we want to entertain our audience, we want to inform them and everything else, but eventually we want them to take action. And ideally also, if you're speaking to gain clients, you want them to take action with us, right? So how do you really craft stories that resonate deeply with an audience and move people into action so they turn their learning into doing and potentially continue with us? Darren, I can't hear you right now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I had a truck going by. So I want to show you my story model. And again, if you're taking notes, thank you. You write this down. They must relate to the then. This will get clearer in a second. The audience must relate to the then and desire the now. They must relate to the then. You could put in parentheses before, and desire the now, put in parentheses after. So whether you're using this story as a video on your sales page to help sell you, if you're doing it in your presentation, this is what I call the then to now story model. So then the perspective of the audience, the character then, that I can emotionally relate to it. And what did they look like? What's their emotion? They were scared. They were nervous. They weren't making any sales. They were making no money. So where's the then character? A day in the life of where they were at the beginning of the story. Me sitting in the audience. Oh, I remember when I was scared. I remember when I was making no money. I doubted myself. I thought I'll never figure this out. So we have the then perspective. We give the audience a visual to see the character. When I talk about Mark Brown, my mentor, I said, Mark Brown stands about 6'2". He's got a heart of gold. He's a native of Jamaica. And he laughs like the guy from the old 7-Up commercial. But I give them a visual, 6'2", native of Jamaica. It gives them a visual. Here's the key. I don't care what the visual is. I care that they visualize him, that they see him. Then there's a challenge. There's a conflict. The conflict is the hook that brings us into the story. Then it gets worse. Dun, 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 dun. By the way, you can take screenshots of this, but please do not share that. This is what I get paid for. This is my content, my world, but I want to help you. So please feel free to take screenshots. Just don't put them out on social media. This is what I call the struggle. This is where the character's struggling, and this is where the transformation happens, but it doesn't start to happen until the revelation happens. The lesson is learned, the guru. And the guru can be a person, a pet, a book, a statue, whatever, but someone has to deliver the aha revelation. And then boom, the character is never the same. What do they look like now? What's their emotion now? They're standing up a little straighter. They have confidence. So at the beginning, they were scared. At the end, they have confidence. So this is a story model. And I never knew for 7 years as a NSA member or PSA member and a Toastmaster for 7 years, I didn't know I just thought you told a story. If it works, great. If it doesn't, great. You add a few words, you take out a few words. I didn't realize there was a tried and true structure to hold your story in front of to see what's missing. And then for you and I, so we need to see a dichotomy between the now and the then. There has to be a shift in the character because of the revelation. And then we deliver your message. And that's why I say, like, your message can be a foundational phrase. So I have one that says, capture what captures you. Capture what captures you. So I have many different, each story I have like a different phrase to go with, and it's part of my marketing. Is that helpful?
Absolutely helpful. Love, love, love it. Right. And, yeah, so let me ask you as well, Darren. I mean, obviously you're a paid speaker, right? I mean, in many ways, you're out there, you're getting paid directly as a keynote speaker, but you're running a lot of workshops, and you're also getting a lot of clients with your speaking. So can you share a couple of insights, some of your best practices above and beyond using stories to really get people into action and turning your speaking opportunities into client attraction opportunities?
Yeah, it really goes back to the transformation of the character in the story, that I want that. Those of you who are old enough to remember the old movie When Harry Met Sally, I'll have what she's having. The famous scene, I'll have what she's having. We've got to show our clients through our testimonial stories. So we can have stories, but this could also be a client testimonial story where you're the guru. When you help someone go from here to there, you show me 3 of those stories and I want the outcome that they got, I'm so much more inclined. One of the practices, as your question said, best practices I offer is, what is your, I'm not sure, Monica, I'm not sure, Monique, what is your term for lead magnet? Do you have a different term for that?
Well, there's all kinds of words for that, right? But in the end, it's like, you give a free gift. You can call it a freebie, you can call it a lead magnet. In the end, it is something of value that you give people to get them to take action, right?
Yes. So 2 things. Number 1, every time I present, even if it's for free, by the way, I speak a lot for free, but turn it into money because I offer something they have. So I just put in the chat 2 of my lead magnets. You can check it out. They're free. There's no charge there. But see that these help build rapport. But here's the key. You can't just give away a lead magnet like I just did. You have to sell us on how it will help you before you put it in the chat. But I'm just showing you now. So I have been speaking for 10 years. I have seen speakers from world-class speakers to emerging speakers to CEOs, high-level C-suite managers, and they all make the same mistakes. And it drives me crazy. So I put together the top 10 speaking mistakes. So I'm not here to cover that now, but if you'd like that, it's free. It's a download. And one of the things that I learned, Monique, doing my own research, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't come through as a hot link, is the fact that it should be consumable within 10 minutes. So you don't want something too long, because I'll give you 10 minutes. Yeah, it was a good presentation. I'll give you 10 minutes. Now, if it helps me, if you help solve a problem, I'm more likely to want more from you. So it's got to be high level. It's not giving away a PDF. It's not just a report. It's got to be transformational. You've got them interested because of your presentation. But the next step is to literally get them engaged in your content. So I put 2 in there. One is just my top 10 speaking mistakes. Thank you, Sarah, for fixing that link for me. I appreciate it. And then I have a 59-minute training. Get 3 secrets to be unforgettable on stage. So this is legit. 59 minutes of rock solid content. But at the beginning of this, so it's an online training, it's a video, you watch at your own pace. When I'm selling that, I tell people, look, this at the beginning, hey, look, if you want to work with Mark Brown, my coach, and me, at the end, I'm going to let you know how you can do that. so they don't feel like bait and switch, that at the end, I do a hard sales pitch. You want to see that sales pitch? Check it out. But if I give them the content and set it up well, they're going to be okay with that. But if it feels like a bait and switch, hey, wait a minute, you're hard pitching. Yeah, but I gave you the 3 secrets first, and I give them a heads up during it that I'm going to let them know, hey, it's not for everyone, but if you want to learn more, here's how you can work with Mark and me. So having that lead magnet, and by the way, if you don't have a lead magnet, that's your first step. If your lead magnet isn't converting into business, that's your next step. And ask for feedback. Feedback. It's critical. If it's not working, you want to know why. What is it? Monique?
Love it. So, Darren, I know you also wanted to talk today about how do you really strategize to make every speaking opportunity count towards your biggest goals, right? And goals change, right? I mean, we change, the world changes, right? We as speakers change, our audience changes, their expectations, requirements change. Let's talk about 2024. Like a lot of people, as I said at the beginning of the call, a lot of people plan out and strategize their year around their business and their personal life, and not a lot of people strategize their speaking, right? Or have a clear roadmap for their speaking. So Darren, how do you plan out your speaking year? And what hints do you have for people? And I can also chip in here that on the 25th of January, we're going to have a 2-hour session where we walk everyone through that in detail, right? So we're going to get you to roll up your sleeves and craft your speaking strategy and roadmap for 2024. But I also want to hear from Darren, what are some hints and tips that you give yourself, or, around, or you can share with everyone here around planning out your speaking year in more solid way.
I appreciate that. I would love to tell you, oh, I'm a great planner. Nope, but I am clear on what I'm working on. And then here's the key to the planning: execution. Having that visual that reminds you, okay, yeah, you got to do this, you got to do that, but reach outside your walls every day. And so one of the things I'm doing is I'm building a brand new keynote for Las Vegas. I moved to Las Vegas because I want to sleep in my own bed more often. That's why I moved here. But like most speakers that move here, we show up. Here I am. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. The ones with big budgets, they don't care that they don't have to pay travel. They have plenty of money. They'll pay travel. They want the right person. So one of the things my speaker bureau agent said to me last year was, if you create a Vegas themed keynote, I could book you all day long. Wow. How can I help my agent? Just that. Everyone wants an agent to book them, but ask yourself, how can I help my agent? And here's one of the best questions my mentor, Patricia Fripp, ever taught me about. Make it your goal to be their favorite. Every event planner, make it your goal to be their favorite. You show up at an event, make the AV team that you are their favorite. Why? Because most people poo-poo the AV team like they're just there to support. Well, they're the key to whether your presentation works or not. And a lot of people poo-poo them. Well, get an Amazon gift card, get a Starbucks gift card, and give it to them for no reason. They don't get that kind of respect very often. So number one is get clear on your big 3 things. So number one, I'm creating a new keynote. Well, what do I need for a new keynote? Break it down. I need a demo video. I need a speaker one sheet, and I need a web page that if you're having a convention in Vegas, go all in. So that's kind of my new theme. And I have a book. I have a book and a keynote called 17 Minutes to Your Dream. And I'm not trying to sell the book. I'm giving you an example. 17 minutes to your dream. But guess what? Most corporations don't want people to dream because they're dreaming of working somewhere else. So it's the same. If you took all in and you took 17 minutes to your dream and you looked at the speech itself, it's 90% the same. So I just created a new title. And, this also, when I was thinking about it, I had an event planner that I was recommended by a friend. They looked at my 3 topics and watched my 3 demo videos, and they said, "We love your energy, Darren. We want you, but none of those topics work." And I said, "Well, I'm working on a new keynote called All In." Perfect. We want it. They even made swag and t-shirts with All In on it. So I realized, hey, I have something here. So I went out in Las Vegas and I started researching and finding Las Vegas All In stories behind this fear, stories behind of moving the NFL football team to Las Vegas from Los Angeles, stories about the iconic Vegas sign. So now I've infused them into my keynote, but the keynote's pretty much the same. So get clear on what are your 3 things for 2024. So mine is my new keynote demo. Now I got to go make sure all the people in Vegas know about it. My other is I do workshops where people come to me and buy tickets. So I have to fill my event. And I thought, well, what if I worked in the corporate arena? So I'm taking those same workshops and I'm doing that in the corporate where I go to them. I have a team of coaches where we go to them. So those are just 2 of them, but have your top 3 for this year. What are you going to do that's moving your business forward? Maybe you just need some new systems. And my third one is hiring an ad agency to get out there and help me get new leads, because I don't want to have to figure out how to do YouTube ads, how to do TikTok ads. It's not my expertise. However, I can reinvest some of my income into finding the right person to do it for me. There's a great book out there by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And he's got a co-author too. I can't think of his name. But he says, who, not how. Who, not how. I heard that and I didn't even have to read the book. I knew what it meant. Don't try to figure out how to do ads, Darren. Find the person who can do them way better than you. You'll save time, energy, and effort, and you won't have the frustration they have. So pick your top 3 for the year, and then your plan is consistency. You've got to do something for one of those 3 every single day, 5 days a week. Monique, does that answer your question?
Love it. And Who Not How, one of my preferred books. Love it. And Darren Hardy and Dan Sullivan. It's Dan Sullivan. Yeah, there you go. Amazing. Great book. And by the way, all of you, right? I mean, always ask yourself, it's not only relevant for your business, it's also relevant for your speaking. Who can help you to lift your speaking game? Who can help you to get you booked and everything else? So Who Not How is definitely a magical formula. So now let's, now that we have your top 3 this year, Darren, and can't wait to listen to your new amazing keynote speech and learn from you further. Let's talk about how do you really strategize to make every speaking opportunity count towards your top 3 goals or top goals with your speaking?
Yeah, I think it's the right lead magnet for the right audience, depending on, I teach the business of speaking too, but Monique, so do you. So I don't want to cloud that. They've got you. Cool. So where can I help? The skill of speaking. So that's why the lead magnets I chose for this are directly in line with that. I have a team of coaches, so I want to keep them busy. I want to keep them out there. And then the other lead magnet I have for this is a podcast called Deliver Unforgettable Presentations. It's a podcast that I do. You can find it on any of the different platforms, but the more content you give, that is transformational, the more likely people are going to refer you. So every single presentation. So look, I will tell you, I've been up and down. I've had times where I had to tell I have a staff of 4 people where I made some bad mistakes. And I had to tell my staff, I don't know if I can pay you next week. That's humbling. That is humbling. So if you're sitting there listening to this, I'm not making any money or whatever, or I did, and now congratulations, you're in the right place. And if any speaker tells you they make $1 million, well, tell them to shut up and stop lying, because we've all had those moments. And I told that in Austin, Texas, to a group of speakers. I had a woman come up to me in the hallway crying. She said, I thought I was the only one. And we hugged, and it was a powerful moment. You want to help your audience more? Be more open and transparent. Be more open and transparent. There's a friend of mine, his name is Rory Vaden, one of my students who's far surpassed his mentor. He said, you're uniquely qualified to help the person you used to be. You are uniquely qualified to help the person you used to be. So help them more. Do more. Go to those dark places you don't want to. That's where the gold is. The more you help people, the more your business is going to grow. It's a natural side effect. So ego has gotten in my way before. Two biggest problems, in my opinion, after 3 decades in this world. Number one, self-doubt. At the beginning, you doubt yourself. You doubt your expertise. You doubt, why would anyone listen to me? Why would someone pay me $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 for a speech? You doubt it. I get it. Me too. I couldn't believe when I got $75 for my first paid speech. I was out of my freaking mind. Number one, self-doubt. Number two, ego. In my opinion, ego is the second biggest problem after people get confidence, after people want autographs, want their picture with you because they loved you. Well, now we start believing that crap. We start believing our own press. Hey, I want you to believe in yourself, but I want you to believe you're better than anyone else. You have an area of expertise where you serve, but that doesn't. The night before the World Championship of Public Speaking, my mentor, Mark Brown, my coach, brought me aside. He said he saw my ego growing because I was 1 of 8. I had a really good shot at this. And Mark saw my ego growing and he said, Darren, tomorrow morning, you have the privilege of 2,000 lives for 7 minutes. What will you do with that? And I encourage you to ask yourself right before every presentation, you have the privilege of this many lives for this long amount of time. And when people can sense your intention, you're going to be that person that is a magnet for more business. They're going to want more of you, but they can sense your intention. Monique?
Love, love, love it. So many powerful, hints and tips. So I also shared in the chat for all of you. I asked you a question as well, because I know you're all here to pick up hints and tips. But again, you have a powerful message, and we would like to hear in the chat as well. Like, first of all, what are your top 3 this year, if you have them? Share them with everyone. There might be some people here that might help you. Might be able to help you to open you to next stage time opportunity, or connect you with someone, or give you some hints and tips. So share with us, what are your top 3 this year? And also, if you have any questions for Darren, this is your opportunity, right? I mean, Darren and I are friends. We can always reach out and have a chat, but this is your chance right here, right now, to ask your questions to Darren. So put them into the chat. And if you want to ask something live, raise your little hand and we will bring you on the call. So Darren, I know that a lot of people say, yay, I really love to speak more and I want to get more speaking opportunities. And I know reaching out is one of the things to secure speaking opportunities, right? So what other things do you do? What are some of your best practices to be able to get out there and speak more?
Great question. This is going to sound like a waste of time. And some of my well-known high-level speaker friends here in Vegas think I'm wasting my time. But if you have that gut intuition of some way to reach out, here's what I've been doing. So I'm trying to find people who are in Vegas who could recommend me. Now there's 24,000 conventions that come to town every year, meetings, conventions, conferences, etc. So one of the things I'm trying to do is I need to be active about it. So I'm actually going out to casinos, me one-on-one with my all-in casino chips in hand that have my logo on it, to talk to people in catering, because a lot of conventions and conferences, when they come to town, they ask them, well, hey, do you know any speakers? Now, it's not a great marketing plan, but I'm learning from each interaction. And I also notice, by the way, I have this chip. I don't have, let me grab it real quick. I have this casino chip, which has my logo on it, all in. A little out of focus, sorry, but you get the point. It's got that logo on it. And when I talk to people at the M Resort, which is a casino near my house, I told them what I'm doing, that I have a Vegas themed keynote that gets their attention. And I say it's called All In, and I use stories from Las Vegas. They said, do you have a business card? And I hand them this chip. And here's what happens. Check out my face. Oh, that's eliciting emotion. That's how I know. Look, is everybody going to react that way? No. And the more I do it, the more I'm going to figure out how to say it, how to frame it, how to set it up. But I'm literally going out door to door. Now, there are long hallways between casinos here in Vegas, but I'm going to learn something from it. I have a quote from Will Rogers on my desk. It says, live your life so that whenever you lose, you're ahead. It may not be an efficient use of time, but I'm learning something every time I do it, and I'm meeting people face to face and shaking their hand. So it is not an efficient use of my time. However, those people, one of them said, hey, we like to meet people face to face. So I'm separating myself. I'm differentiating myself. Most speakers won't do that. Will it work? Will I regret it? I don't know. But I'm putting a video up on TikTok every time I go there. Me walking in and me walking out, what I learned from it. So follow me on TikTok and you'll find out what I'm doing and what I'm learning as I go. Now, forgive me, Monique, I forgot what the question was. I went off on a tangent.
No, I think you answered the question. It was really all about, how do you really get booked more to speak beyond to reach out, right? And one way is, as you said, you go to an event and then you get connected, right?
Yeah, there's also, real quick, there are two quick resources. There's a website called 10 times, 10 times, TIMES, that has conventions and conference information. Yes, thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. There's also, I use a Sam Richter tool. I am not an affiliate, but Sam Richter is a Hall of Fame speaker here in Vegas, and he's a tech guy. So he created a AI search engine for speakers to find conventions and conferences around the world. It's kind of pretty cool. So find that place. How can you find it? One of the other things you could do, I live in Las Vegas. I want to speak more locally. Is there a convention and visitors bureau in your town, and do they know you? Do they know you? That's somebody you need to go talk to. You need to have a meeting with. You need to take them to lunch. I found in Vegas, it's vegasmeansbusiness.com. So that's our Las Vegas Convention Visitors Bureau. They have information about people coming to town. Now they have a vendor list. So I looked at the vendor list, and I had been on it years ago when I first moved here, but somehow, somewhere I got dropped off a while ago. So I looked at it again and I kind of resubmitted. But here's what I noticed this time. I noticed, excuse me, that they put in the businesses alphabetically. So my company is called Stage Time University, but I didn't list it that way on the vendor sheet. Guess what I listed it at? All In. Starts with an A. So I'm at the top of the vendor list. Now, I would love to tell you I've gotten a lot of business. I don't know if I've gotten any business. However, it took me 15 minutes to do that. And now I'm listed there. I learned that going to the hotels face to face, some of them have preferred vendor lists. Well, how do you get on that? Go ask. Follow their process. Meet people. There's more that you can do with your time. And then you got to just, any day that I don't reach outside of my four walls is a day that my business doesn't grow.
Right. Love the hints, Darren. And there's so much more we can do these days, right? Well, you shared a lot of suggestions. 10 times is definitely a good list. Also, right? I mean, as you said, it's connect with people that you know, right? They might actually or partner with people. Like last year, I was speaking in Singapore. And I put on actually my own event while being there. That opened us a lot of doors as well, right? And partner with people that could open you doors that you know locally as well, right? And also, a lot of us are using ChatGPT and other AI platforms these days, right? Go and search, right? Go to platforms like Meetup where you can see what kind of events are happening there and so on. There's a gazillion hints like that. Darren, I saw final question because we are almost up on the hour, but we started 2 minutes late, so we can maybe also ask one more quick question from Michael. How much does having a book help with finding speaking opportunities? Maybe you want to say something about that because you wrote quite a few books over the years.
Yeah, it's done zero helping me find them. It's done a ton giving me credibility. So when I reach out, I'm more credible than the person who isn't an author. Now, don't just write a book, write a transformational book. Go all in to be high level content. In my Stage Time University, I was shocked to find out one of my business mastery members said, yeah, I got your book a year ago. I started reading it, and here she was. So it is a paid for lead magnet. So it adds to my credibility. It adds the fact that people want to take you home if they love you. I can't say I'm getting rich off of my book in the back of the room, but hey, doesn't hurt to take home another $200 to $800. I love when they pre-order. I just got a pre-order for books for a convention and conference where they're buying them for everyone. Sweet. Now I don't have to carry them. I don't have to pay for shipping. They take care of it. So I think it's essentially, and with ChatGPT, if you're not a great writer, you can get some help with ChatGPT, but it's still got to be in your voice. And ChatGPT is good, but Ford Sakes, who's my marketing mentor, says you got to look at it like an intern. You've got to check its work. You've got to make it your voice. Otherwise, they're not going to know you. And we want to know you. We want to hear your stories, your perspective. So a book is good. It adds to credibility, but it does nothing in reaching out. I have told that book to reach out 32 times today. It has never picked up the phone or never hit a search engine.
Great, I love it. So I would suggest, Darren, that we start rounding it off. I'm gonna be coming back here as well to make sure that we see me and you together. Why we do that? Okay, give me a second. What happened now? Okay, give me a second.
Yeah,
While
you're doing that,
I need to pin you as well. Okay, you disappear. I didn't want you to disappear. I want to share the stage with you right now. Anyhow, thank you so much for being on with us today, for answering all these questions and really giving great hints and tips. I hope all of you already now are more clear on how do you want to, amplify your speaking this year and how you want to use it to grow your business further. If you don't have a roadmap or strategy for 2024 yet, join us on the 25th, as I said. But in any case, download the resources from Darren. I learned so much, Darren. One of my first paid keynotes, I went through your amazing program on how to craft a keynote speech, right? I mean, I learned so much about bringing humor into speaking. And I mean, if you have any questions around how to make your speeches rock and make them, memorable, unforgettable, Darren is your man, right? And Darren, as you said, everyone should have a speech mentor or a speech coach. So I know you are an amazing one, and I learned so much from you over the years. So I feel entirely honored and blessed to have you here and bring you to our community today. But let's just start rounding it off. Why don't you share with everyone just one final inspiring message to get them to rock more stages in 2024?
So let me ask you this. Raise your hand if you got value from this.
I only have 2 hands, Darren. I can raise 1,000.
Okay, but make no mistake, I don't get paid for this. This is a lead magnet. I'm showing my value. I want you to get on more podcasts. You know, one of the questions is, how do you get more international audiences? Well, find podcasts in your area of expertise where you could help them and reach out. So here's a way that for 1 hour out of my time, I can deliver content. And for those who are serious, who really want to take their presentations and make them unforgettable, I planted seeds of content, whether you work with me or not, whether you come to me or not. I'm here to serve. You see my intention. You feel my intention. And I'm hoping you want more. So those who are serious or connect with me are more likely to do that. So my secret ingredient for you is intention for your audience outcome. I can't teach you everything I know here in an hour. That's why I have the training for 59 minutes on unforgettable presentations. Check it out, watch it. I promise you will get 3 more ideas, 3 more secrets that I didn't have time to cover today. But your intention for your audience is your secret ingredient.
And I'm just sharing it one more time with the correct link. Darren's world-class resources. Okay, get his top 10 speaking mistakes overview. You don't want to make those anymore. And check out his 59-minute training. I mean, every minute of that is worth pure gold, I'm sure. And I'm definitely going to be securing that for myself. So Darren, thank you so much. Let's rock it in 24. Okay, looking forward to maybe share some stages with you this year and beyond. And all of you, I hope you are clear on where you want to go with your speaking this year. Okay, get clear on your top 3 intentions and goals. And we will share this recording in our Hall of Fame. I know quite a few think like, oh my God, that was really a firework of hints and tips and golden nuggets. You can listen to it again and pick it up. So again, connect with Darren, learn from Darren. I learned a lot. I know all of you will as well. Okay. So thank you all so much for being here with us today on our HeartPowered Speaking Community call. We'll be back next month with another amazing guest. But I'd like to again just thank you from the bottom of my heart, Darren, for being here with us today. Always inspiring, always uplifting. Thank you. And thank you all for going out there and speaking and bringing your message into the world in a greater way. So as I always say, keep speaking, scaling your speaking business and impact the world in your own unique way. Go out there and rock it, everyone. Thanks for being on with us today. See you soon.